Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Shane.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'll take notes today and update the meeting notes stuff for you. That's all right.
Perfect. I wouldn't know where to put them.
Okay. They're up on, there's a repo on GitHub called Community.
Community, I see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have write access?
You just submit a PR.
Oh, I
It's
see.
it's an MD document. So if you go in that repo, there's a working groups folder. Under that, there's a WG Windows and then a meeting notes folders. And that's where I've been updating those.
Okay.
Back.
I have not yet cloned this repo.
Okay. Looks like I haven't submitted a PR from the last one. I have the notes in here, but I never pushed it up. Let me get that done.
I managed to delete my Slack message before you could read it. Okay. Because I had to call the police and then I called them off. This was very. I had a strange last half hour.
What happened?
Somebody called me son of a bitch. I called the police, and I thought if I wait for the police, I will miss the working group, and I left him away with calling me son of a bitch. What I am, essentially, he's right. And so I drove him with my bicycle. He drove with a car too near to me. Male stories. So it's all. I leave it to the open space. I would not have been here if I waited for the police.
Are you okay? Did you get hit?
Well, he hit himself. This was the best part of it. I stood there with my bike, then he started his car and drove his, what do you call that? His mirror into my bike. So he has a scratch caused by himself. I don't have any scratch.
But you called the police though, not him?
I called the police because, well, I tell the story waiting for the others. He took a bottle of water and poured it over my shirt, and I thought, this is too much. And then...
Oh, yeah. He assaulted you. You have been assaulted.
Right. But then again, it's very warm, so I take it as a token of appreciation. And after 15 minutes, I realized that this is just, I don't want to tell the police the story. It's just a too boring story for policemen. And, anyhow, we have much, and we have much more interesting stuff. I have the following proposition. We do all the same. At the end of this meeting, we all can profile. What do you think? So we do not discuss, we are actually doing a live exercise of what is profiling, what can we do with it? Is it cool? Is it not cool? What do we need? There are better ways to do performance, increase our understanding of performance.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Good. Tommy, you're in? Kind of. Well, maybe we are just the two of us. Last time we had this Australian, and it looks like Chad or Charles is not online.
They might pop in later. We're in the middle of a company all hands right now.
Oh.
So I dropped out of that to come over here and support you on this.
So how long will it go? The all hands?
It'll probably go until 10. So another 30 minutes.
I have the impression that doing all this in half an hour could be a little short time. This will always, and this will only make chat come along. I kind of hope that we have more people interested in the Windows community and profiling. Well.
Let me see if I can get Joe and Chad over here.
Because some parts of running the client locally are time consuming, and maybe I take too complicated steps that we will discuss before we even start to profile. It will take 20 minutes, I assume.
See, did you paste the link? Let me get the link over here for you.
Yeah, from Slack.
I can copy it here.
Yep, so the C profile I replace. I will put that into a community markdown once I know where I can do that. So I just started there, and it can have a better place or a more official place. Oh Jesus, it rains cats and dogs.
Like we got Daffy DDJ with us.
Oh. Daffy DDJ.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, thanks. Just thought I would have a look and see what you're up to.
Profiling.
Looks interesting.
Good. So why don't we start now, as we are a bunch of people already? So, dear people, I assume Tommy is not listening, but I would like to, so Daffy, the idea is that we are all actively doing the same. So maybe I can share my screen so you can see what I have on my desk. But the idea is that you all have a Windows computer in front of you, or a virtual Windows computer, and you can profile at the end of that hour, this hour. Do we have a deal?
We can try.
Good. Yeah, in fact, it's only a try. So I will present you my screen. Screen one. So we have this and this link, which I put into the. I can take the link from here, and I can put that. Where is Cliff? Do we have in that? I do not understand completely why I'm not seeing. Oh, group chat, here it is. And I can write to everybody, of course. So this would be a description of how to start profiling. We start to install 3000.2 minion on our Windows machines. So everybody of us has a Git repo on his box.
Salt?
Salt.
Yeah, I do.
Good. So let's open a Windows PowerShell. This is what Chad actually told me. So open and check out. Go to your salt repo, which is for me Git salt, and that's it, git salt. So here we have git status. I already am at version 3000.2. Why version 3000.2? Because there I know how to profile a very big issue. And so it's a perfect entry point for, and then it's for you to go for, find out all the others, all the other problems. So first we check out to version 3000.2. Git checkout v3000.2 is how to go to that point in time. This is not a branch, but a tag. Are you, is everybody, how you say, are you all okay with that plan, and do you feel comfortable and would like to go on profiling that way on your own machine, or do you have objections?
I'm checking it out right now.
Good.
I just had to stash some stuff I was working on. So.
Oh yeah, I never stashed. I don't know, but of course that's.
Okay.
So git status tells us exactly that. Nothing to commit, working tree clean. So for some reasons, it's important to clean. So the next step would be to git. Are you ready with checkout?
I'm halfway.
Oh, okay. Then I'm waiting. So. And that's not. So please tell me when you're ready.
I'm resolving deltas at 30%.
Jesus. Git is an extremely fast beast, I have to say. Joe, how are you?
Hey, Marcus. I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine. I'm very excited. I have been. Shane gave me the captain honor, the honor of being captain, and so I feel very honored. And
My captain.
As some would say, you now have the keys.
ooh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Joe, we have the intention to profile a piece of salt, the salt minion, and on Windows. It's not too late to join, and it would in fact be best if you could join us, because that was my plan, and I would like to have all of us being able to play around with profiles, because I found a very interesting part of saw it not working very well on Windows, but I'm sure there are many more parts, and I would like to multiply this technique. So would you like to check out version 3000.2 on Windows?
Sure. Sure. One sec.
The reason for this version is that there I found this huge time waste for Windows, which is already went into 3000.1, I think, or 3001.1, I'm not sure. But there are many, many more parts.
I reposted that in the chat, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Because he joined late, he wouldn't see the original
I see.
Slack from Marcus. So
Right.
that's a link to the document he's working off of.
Gotcha.
Yes, I'll put that in the community once we are ready. And it may be even a little bit too complicated, this recipe. I got it directly from Chad. Maybe he was wrong. But it works. So maybe even if it's too complicated, all these steps lead to the result. Maybe we can leave away 1 or 2 steps, but
Yeah. Okay. I am up to speed with where you are with the README.
okay. So we would have all Git status had detached at version 3000.2. Is that right?
I'm there also.
Perfect, thank you. So next do is we clean all these py caches which may lay around from previous work. Git ignores a lot of stuff and we want to actively clean that. So we all say now git clean -fxdir. So it removes essentially all these py caches and egg info. Good. And and all kinds of PyCache and egg info. I think this is just a second for you and for everybody of us.
I don't think you need the set execution policy part in the next.
Okay, I think I need, because I have my machine in the default state. So first we go into wherever your repo is, package Windows. And if I say clean environment bat, I think my machine will not allow me. Oh, my machine will allow me, you're right. So I can do not set execute policy remote sign.
And I think that code is already in the build environment script as well, where it sets the execution policy in the script.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think you need it in the next part either, but we'll see.
Oh, I see. That's a batch script. Yeah, I see. So let me correct that right away, because this will take a minute or two before we removed. Oh, and this will, by the way, this will remove Python 3.5 on your machines if you have it installed. And please tell me if you are ready, or do we have a chat which I can see so you do not have to raise your voice?
It actually removes Python 2, Python 3 versions. I think it checks for 2.7, 14, 15, 16, and Python 3. It checks for a whole bunch of versions and cleans them out.
I remember.
Yeah, it does a good bit of stuff.
Okay, so maybe it starts with open a virtual machine somewhere. Well, it doesn't. So we have all uninstalled our Python consoles, I assume.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where we have clean environment batch, which comes from Shane. I have the habit to do it twice, because the second time it's very fast. And then it says, oh, then chat said, open a new PowerShell admin console. Do you think that's necessary, Shane?
I never have.
You never have. So we won't, because that's what Shane told me. So in this case, I would have closed my admin console and opened a new one. And this is in fact what I am doing. You may leave that out and then we see if we have difference, and maybe it's too complicated. But I would like to see.
One sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. So then let's go to salt, to the salt repo. And build the environment. And I call explicitly the build environment 3 command here. So it's dot / build. Oh no, I have to go to package Windows. And there I hit build environment 3. Maybe this is what build will point you to if you gave no options, but it's now we are all sure that we will get the environment for Python 3. Shane wrote that. You're probably already running that, Shane?
I had Python 3.7 installed, so I'm manually uninstalling that. But I'll be there.
I see.
I've been running on the master branch, so I had a newer version of Python. And if you run the clean on a version 3000.2, it doesn't include the code that uninstalls Python 3.7. But it's okay. It's all right. Just cleaning it out.
Excuse me. I am back. I have my system also in a good state.
Okay, but why have you removed Python 3.7? Okay, shall Joe also remove 3.7, Python 3.7?
I'm just making sure it's all clean, so there's no question that there's something there that we don't want.
Yeah, every once in a while, it's not a bad idea to totally blow away your entire Python installation and just start fresh.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'm blowing it away pretty like 5 times a day because I found that it's the best and surest way to. This is another thing. This has nothing to do with performance of the salt minion, but performance of the working environment. I blow it away rather each hour.
There's definitely been a couple times where I installed a library and it was just giving me tons of problems, and someone was just like, just delete the whole thing and start fresh instead of trying to troubleshoot it.
I've had more problems with the stale PyCache files in Python 3 than I ever did with Python 2. It's like sometimes I'll update the code and it won't update the cache file. It won't change the cache file. You know what I mean? It won't recompile it.
So you need to delete the cache?
So sometimes you don't have to clear out your environment. You can just do a clean -fxd. And then pip install again to make sure you're getting code there. You don't have to clear out your whole environment.
Oh yes, and that's a good point. Daffy, you're running something?
The build environment command.
Good. Yep, it takes 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, depending on your internet speed.
Yep. By the way,
have you had it pause in the middle? Have you had it hang on you?
Not yet. It hangs on, it quite reliably hangs on successfully installed SherryPy and blah, blah, blah. And then it hangs there.
Yes. Okay. That's a problem with the Py3 script. And I think it's a problem with the Python 3 MSI installer or something. That something doesn't get released there, and you have to Control-C out of it and run it again, and then it will finish. And this has been a problem for 3 or 4 years, and I've never been able to.
Yeah.
We have tried many different ways to get around this. Yeah, so mine's hung right there.
Yep.
At the successfully installed list. You're about there.
Yeah. Successfully installed CherryPy. And there you can wait as long as you want. Here I hit Control C. And I already have, yeah, I did not wrote that you have to hit Control C. Maybe I will add that. And as I'm looking at it, I think we need to discuss set proc title at a later point in time. This has nothing to do with profiling strictly, but set proc title is useless under Windows. So I wouldn't.
Okay. Well,
It's,
it might be, I don't think we install that specifically. It might be a dependency of another library we're installing.
oh, maybe.
'Cause
So,
I don't remember seeing that in the requirements file.
oh, I see. That's in fact a requirement of a requirement, maybe. So whenever you see successfully installed CherryPy, that's where you hit Control C. It gives you a command prompt, and unfortunately you have to repeat build environment 3 PS1. And I could wait until everybody is here with me at this point in time. So maybe I could have not removed the environment, but just cleaned
Yeah, just do it.
clean FXD.
Yep. I
Okay.
usually do a git. Well, if I have code I'm working on, don't do a git reset. If you got code in there, you.
No. If I see. Oh, okay. That's a good point. So in fact, I would have.
And if you have a new file you've created that you're testing but hasn't been committed, don't do a git clean.
Of course, yeah. Only if you're. Yes, in fact, we will profile changes and then git clean FXD would be a disaster.
Yes.
I will add these comments to the recipe. I will go for the second time build environment 3 PS1. It will download yet again some stuff.
It goes through and checks this time.
Yeah, and then it goes for these DLLs.
Now it's moved past. Yeah.
We could once again try for a local cache of the saltstack.com repo, the HTML repo. So this would be possible offline, but the first attempt did not work very well, Shane. So I leave that open for now. I always download. Oh, press any key to continue, and we're done. So is everybody seeing cleaning up downloaded files?
Yes.
Not yet.
Okay, then we will wait for you. In fact, you have the farthest way. Oh, and if you install Visual C++ build tools, it took a very long time. So if you are seeing installing Visual C++ build tools, this will take definitely 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was doing that, but it has finished.
Oh, good.
So
That's
it's a huge download from Microsoft.
no.
So that'll only happen the first time
Yeah.
you run this.
Yeah. So then, Shane, after you have built the environment, do you open a new PowerShell window?
No, you just do it right here, but you do have to go back 2 levels.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. So why did chat told me to open admin PowerShell consoles twice already?
I don't know. I've never done that.
Okay.
Maybe he wasn't in an admin.
It's possible.
Okay. Then this time I won't open a new admin PowerShell and stay here. And we're waiting for Daffy. You're an
from
artist.
It's from an American game show where they're waiting for people. It does that little melody.
Uh-huh. Wonderful. Yes. Oh, this has nothing to do with the, well, it has nothing to do with performance. I found a minor bug in the MSI installer and I opened and merged the PR myself.
In what?
In the MSI installer, there's
Oh.
Salt, Windows, MSI.
Okay.
Because somewhere I'm using the NSSM, the original NSSM exe.
And not
And it-
pulling the new one.
No, I'm using a peer-to-peer client, which also uses the NSSM executable. And it was not put into the installer. And I found out that I had to prevent the Salt installer, because I'm putting it all together in one installer, to remove all exes which end in SSM, but and only exclude SSM because it's part of the service. It's a complicated thing. We could rename SSM to something brilliant like the Salt Service Manager.
We did that. We took
Yep.
the NSSM source code and I went in and searched everywhere that it said non-sucking,
Yeah.
and I replaced it with Salt, and I recompiled it as an SSM binary, and that is up on the repo under Windows. That's what we actually package with our null salt
Yep.
script now.
Yeah. I take that, but somehow in the Windows Event Manager and the NSSM, the N still has found there is one N missing in that.
Did I miss one?
But that's really not, it has near to no importance. I had a very ugly bug, which hopefully I find, a colleague found it before really bad things happened. But we're starting to discuss other things. Daffy, are you ready with the environment?
I am, yes.
Good. So this would bring us to, we have built the environment and called the PowerShell script twice. Now we're going 2 directories upwards, cd ... and again, where we can say pip install space -e for, I don't know, space dot. And this will install Salt, and it goes very fast.
So what this allows you to do is work off your source code. It runs Salt based off of the actual .py files in the repository. So it's like puts it in developer mode.
That's brilliant. And in that direction, in that directory, we can already call our first Salt command. Everybody will be ready because it only takes, I don't know, less than 10 seconds. Here we can say Salt call local because we do not want to set up a master test version. I think it compiles now. The first run takes considerably long time. But in the end, we will see the version. Ta-da! And this is how we install a local copy of, or we run the minion from Git. If everybody of you is ready with running the, if everybody of you has run test.version, how do I find the chat? Or
It's at the bottom of the screen
ah,
that you're sharing called chat.
here it is. Mute, 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 presence, stop. More chat. Ah. I realize you need this repo for the sake of the test, or you could follow me now if you do not want to do exactly the same steps. But the more complicated part was to get a salt minion from Git. So this description is a little bit too complicated because you do not need to set remote execute and you do not need to open new PowerShell windows. So what I do here next is I go to my, or if you would like to download that repo, you can zip, you can download the zip and work from there. You do not need to fork or do complicated stuff. But it would be most interesting if you can, or well, I don't know. I let you decide to download the zip.
So you want us to clone LearnSalt?
You can clone, but I think it's better I put that into the community where it's easier for you. Everybody has already. Do as you like. You can just, you can use a zip. I think that's more.
So where's the zip?
Oh, you go there, you say code, and you say download zip in GitHub. Then you get a zip and you have the things there. That's more, even easier than to clone and to blah, blah, blah. You have one zip file and then you, if you like it, you can clone, of course. But I think the fastest thing to go here is to, instead of using the HTTPS or SSH strings to actually clone or git clone, you need to fork or clone, or you can just use a zip file.
Okay.
Which allows you to go to that repo called LearnSalt. And there's a directory called cProfile. Where is my... cProfile. Good, and there we find a new README, which tells us to go into the directory cProfile performance profiler. You have found that? Jane?
Yeah, I'm unzipping it. Getting
Okay.
it unzipped. I'm about there. Should be there. There we go. Okay, going to see profile, performance profiler.
Right.
Okay.
At some point in time, we need SnakeWiz, or wizard probably. So we do pip install SnakeWiz, which is a very small install. Oh, it uses Tornado. That's strange.
Oh,
Is
Viz.
everybody SnakeWiz? Yes,
With a
SnakeWiz.
V.
With a V, yes. Not wizard, but what is the meaning of Viz?
Visualizer, probably.
Oh, visualizer, right, not wizard. Snake visualizer. Right. So who is there? Shall we wait?
I am there.
Good. Joe.
I as well am ready to go.
Perfect. Because the most interesting part happens now. We can look at the we will look later. File, replace, profiler, but is calling like our test command, test version. It's this batch file contains a file replace, and it's all set up to do. We can see here it calls. It doesn't even call salt call. It uses Python directly to, oh no, it does a salt call, right. It does a Python script salt call, local file replace, goes somewhere, uses a text file in this directory, and in every occasion where it finds foo, it will replace with bar. And as we all know it, we see what has been replaced and the text which has been replaced and the new text. And this is very impressive. And we not only have that impressiveness, but we also have a file called prof, which is a rather big file. So it's nearly a megabyte of, I don't know, binary data. Oh, it's a little bit smaller. It's 785 megabyte. I have included some test files for documentation purposes. So all of you should have now a file, roughly a megabyte of profiling. And because we have, you can skip that text because I will revert the changes so I can repeat the test. So the file replace profiler changes the text file from hello foo to hello bar, and of course we can revert that with git. That's the idea. Now, that's the visually important part comes now. We say SnakeWiz visualizer, that file, and opens up a very impressive file. It's a bit, the interface is impressive but slow. And now we have at my time, we have spent 3/4 of our time, which is longer than I've thought, but that's always the case. Why nothing happens? Oh, I have to hit enter maybe. Right. So this is the graphical interface which everybody should see on his computer. And I will wait before you all see it because I have made an observation, but shortly after that, we are all in the same position to find problems. And this is a creative art. So we need to inform ourselves of how to understand this table here below. Essentially, that graphic, I have found no way to make it useful. I think the table below, the graphical image, is much more interesting because you can sort by all these parameters. But I will wait before you have it. Please tell me. Shane, are you snake visualizing already?
I am, but I don't have Chrome, so it's doing it in Explorer, and I'm downloading Chrome right now.
Oh.
So you go ahead, I'll catch up to you.
You won't believe it. This is Edge.
Well, Edge would be good, but
I'm an Edge. I'm an Edge user. Yeah.
I also am very fond of it.
Ah.
It is fantastic.
It is
A couple of
fantastic.
years ago, I'd be saying you're speaking heresy, but I've kind of grown to it too.
No, since Microsoft doesn't feel capable of creating a browser kernel, I'm using Edge. They have admitted that they're using Chrome in Chromium, so no, it works. Whatever works. I would use Firefox if it would work. It doesn't matter. It has absolutely no meaning to me, as long as it's not the VI. So, Shane, you're downloading Chrome. Hi, chat, by the way.
Hello, I've been here just listening. I did walk away at one point at the start of the meeting, though.
Okay.
I myself I actually had to go into my environment variables and change something, but I am just about there.
That's so mysterious, Joe.
Ooh. Variables.
I changed something.
Ooh.
I changed something for this to work.
So, chat, you have been participating maybe in the all hands meeting. I can show you that in private, if you like. So this is what everybody should see on his computers, and this was my intention, to enable all of you to look at these wonderful numbers. And I'll go on for the sake of entertainment. You can sort by cumulative time, which is cum time. So first we click on cum time, and then we click on cum time again, because that's the more interesting part. For me, that's 22 seconds. Of course, this means not real seconds. It didn't took 22 seconds to run, or maybe it did, but it's all under profiling. So file replace without a profiler runs much faster, but with a profiler, it actually takes 22 seconds. And we go looking into the number of calls, and we see large numbers and small numbers. Salt call is just called once, which is okay. This is the initial call. And then we look down, look down, look down, look down, look down, and find a suspicious entry, which I have difficulty to find. It's here. The suspicious line of entry isn't so suspicious at all. So the question is, how do we interpret these numbers? And of course, as a good teacher, I leave you alone with the difficult questions. So I've shown you how to go to these numbers, and we will continue next time when everybody has an understanding. Somehow here, the ESXi module is shown very prominently. And I do not understand how this graphical interface was created. I think it's interesting for us to find more than just what the graphical interface shows us. Of course, we cannot get rid of the minion.py. It would speed up things, but then we cannot scrap minion.py. But on Windows, ESXi is no longer loaded because it's not Windows. So
It's not needed.
It's not needed, right? So when we look at these tables here, and this is where I would like to invite you to look. There is also vSphere, but I think vSphere is essentially the same as ESXi. And this is where I would like to ask you, what can we make of this? So first, it's important to come to the profiling data, but then of course, interpreting the data is, I think it's an art. We need a better understanding why, maybe that's a problem, that frozen import has been called 822 times. This looks like a very large number for something like file replace. Why there has to be 1,000 times frozen import? If you add these two lines, it's maybe 5,000 times frozen imports. Is that sane? Because it costs a lot of time just to import.
I think that's all part of the lazy loader. And I think we have close to 1,000 modules that it goes through and evaluates the Dunder virtual and sees if it applies to the machine.
Maybe we can shortcut. A long time ago, I programmed the logical language called Lisp. And to speed up Lisp, you had to do blue cuts, I think, I remember. So this is where you had to tell the logical implication machine to do not bother because you know that this is a dead end. So if these imports in the end tell my Windows machine that I am not a Unix machine, I could do a cut beforehand. And I think Salt has grown on the Unix platform, and long live the Unix platform. I also prefer the Unix platform, but if it's, I currently only use Windows, Salt on Windows, and it's terribly, I would like to speed up the Windows part. And I think by cutting out the Unix part, so do not even try to understand whether you're Unix or not, because I'm telling you you're not Unix, we could speed up here. This
right.
is
so the Dunder virtual function and all the modules and states, some of them do check for Windows or Linux, but some of them also check for, like, is Py132 installed? Is there a Git binary? I mean, they check for different things to determine if that module or that state is going to be available to Salt.
no. Yeah.
But there is the idea to try to trim as much as possible out. Like, we don't need a MD-ADM module. We don't
Right.
need an Essex module or whatever. But
Right. So this could be that this lazy could be trimmed with our understanding of what is necessary for Windows. But you could use that also, you could profile also on Linux. I've never tried, but this is pure Python. You could do the same thing, Snake Visualizer on Linux. you could do it on a recent version. You can do it on a master. And in fact, I would like to invite you. And as we are running out of time in the last 5 minutes, I would propose that next time we meet again and have profiled something. So I hate to do exercises, but I just leave it to your curiosity to profile something. And next time we talk about what we have profiled. Or how do we understand these things here? Because as we run out of time, I think we can sort by cumulative time, which is the most logical thing to do. I've never tried to sort by total time. It's a little bit different because it shows it only shows instances of multiple calls. Maybe this is a pointer. So the Win network, we have started in local. We said salt call -- local. Why does Win network take 0.3 seconds? That's 300 milliseconds. That's not very much, but it shouldn't take no time at all, and it may have other problems. So why is local not cutting off the network extremely well? Well, in fact, 0.3 millisecond isn't really the first thing I would look into.
So this is version 3000.2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of these issues may have been addressed and just not merged. I don't know. I can't remember where this code went in, but I did add some changes. Actually, I created Win Network, so maybe this has those changes. Previously, it would make calls to the WMI system in Windows, which is kind of slow.
It's slow. Yes,
So
yes, I remember.
so I had it go out and do some .NET. I used the Python Net library.
Yeah, I remember. We
.NET
discussed
and
that.
and get the network interfaces that way. It's faster than WMI, but it's still not incredibly fast.
Yes, I remember. So the
And I
idea.
also thought we addressed some of these issues with ESXi as well.
Shane, we went over a lot of this stuff, I thought.
I thought we did, and so it might be in 3001, or is there a later release of 3000, or 3000?
Maybe it hasn't even been merged.
I don't know. Now I have to look.
But I remember it was basically like right after last month's meeting, Shane and I were looking into some profiling stuff, and it was actually, in Win Network, I remember it would kind of, go back and forth and eventually would just determine, well, hey, does this system have WMI? If it does, just use it. And if not, use the .NET. But we had learned that using WMI was just
Very slow.
10 times. It was a few orders of magnitude slower than.
I think that's the idea of WMI. It may run. The most important part was not to take any CPU, so they have given it a very low priority. It's built slow. Anyhow, in fact, maybe the time isn't giving us the right perspective. What we may be looking, we're not even, or the idea of profiling is that time relates to CPU, which is not the case for WMI. But when you say you have profiled, what have you done for profiling? Did you use SnakeWiz? Did you use another technique to profile?
I think you showed me this. You showed me this stuff, and then we could see what was taking time, and so we tried to do some stuff to remediate it. I'm looking through release notes here.
Okay.
Find where this went in.
So Joe, you have seen at this wonderful picture before.
Actually, I have not. When Shane and I did the profiling, we used a non-visual representation.
Oh, can you show me that?
Sure. I definitely can. Although unfortunately, because there is no visual aspect to it, all you would be looking at is just timings, but kind of
Like
how it,
this one, like these ones here.
yes, that is the data that you would see. And basically all I was doing is there is a time it module in Python, and it gives you even nanoseconds. It gives you time in nanoseconds, which it looks like this does as well. And just basically what we would do is we would set up a timer to start a clock before a function call was made. And then after that call had returned, we would just check how long it took or elapsed time between calls.
Right.
And then we put it before the switch, and then before the switch to check if it was WMI or if it was .NET. And so we would do one instance where we would have the system have WMI on it, and we would start our timer, run through WMI stuff, and then stop the timer. And then we did an equal second test where we uninstalled WMI and only did .NET, and we would start the timer and then stop the timer when our call returned, and we would look at the differences in how long they took. And then we did this over 10 times and noticed that the .NET was, like I said, about 2 to 3 orders of magnitude faster.
Yes.
That was
Noticeable.
how we profiled.
Not as noticeable on a single run though, which is all we're getting here.
Oh. Okay, but this is a way of getting to numbers of something which you already know where to look at, where this is the complete overview. If it's similar, in fact, it's profiling. We may have other options, so it would be possible that there are better profilers, which I don't know of.
No, but this is great because this draws an entire picture of what is happening from start to finish, whereas Shane and I were looking at more of a micro. This is much more macro.
Right. We need the broad view of everything, and this offers strange kind of call stacks. You can drill in and drill out. You reset the zoom, and you go again into the ESXi. Unfortunately, I have little understanding of what's happening, so I think most of you are better Python programmers than I am. It will tell you more than it tells me, hopefully. Anyhow, I would like to thank you for your patience, and hope that we have not lost, that I have not lost Daffy, which was very silent lately. But anyhow, this is...
I'm still here.
Thank you. So good luck with this is what I used to find the ESXi, and I would love it that it's useful for you on the master, on other branches, to find what's taking time. This would be I think this is the best tool I know. So next time, in a month, I will come up with another curiosity, or we have discussed what we do next in a month.
Perfect.
So I wish you a nice day in America or Australia.
Sounds good. You too, Marcus.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. This is good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.